if I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna talk that law. Let's talk about it. What's going on today? Thank y'all for coming in, the ones that can be here. But for those who don't know me, I am a 5-year, I'm going on 5 years, Texas trial attorney. Y'all see the law license on the wall, signed by the 9 justices of the Supreme Court. See, I was minding my business. I was drinking my water. And they say the jury, they still trying to figure it out. Oh, whoa, y'all got a lot of comments. What I miss on? Yes, the Bronx shut up for him. Oh, hey, okay. So I just wanted to just update real quick what's going on with the trial. I mean, everybody knows the jury's still deliberating, and they can't make up their minds. Let me see. Is my sound? I don't think my sound is right. Let me see if I can switch it. I'm trying to read the comments and see what I missed out on. Oh, okay, you can hear me? Okay. Hey. So basically the jury, they had specific questions that they asked yesterday to the court. They wanted to see transcripts. They want to know what David Pecker said. And David Pecker was the guy that worked for AMI, and AMI is the media company that was supposedly the company that caught the stories and killed the stories, the catch and kill, as they called it. But I'm interested to know, what did the jury want to know, so we can kind of get an idea of which way they lean in. Are they leaning to the left? Are they leaning to the right? Are they saying he guilty or not? And I know nobody changed their opinion since last night. Let me see if I can figure out exactly what did the jury want to know. What did they want to hear again? What did they want to see again? Because apparently in New York law doesn't allow the jury instructions to go in the back with the jury. It doesn't make any sense. That's a wild state. I didn't know New York was this wild. So apparently it was a case in New York in the 80s that said that it's not fair for the jury instructions to go back in the back because it can be prejudicial to the defendant. But on the flip side of that, my thing is, if the jury's instructions do not go back with the jury and the jury back there guessing because they tired of coming back in front of the court saying, hey, can you read it back to us? They go to the back, hey, can you come back and read it back? They may just start guessing what they need to prove. And that can be prejudicial to the defendant. I got to get my words out. So a hung jury when all 12 can't agree, but I'm thinking that it's too early right now. I'm thinking the judge is going to go at least until probably Monday. Let me see something. So I'm thinking at least until Monday. They're going to give him time, like, hey, y'all got to figure this out. And if not by Monday, then I think he'll just call it a hung jury. But right now, it's still too early. I'm sure he's going to want them to go the remainder of today. What's tomorrow? Friday, all day Friday, maybe even all day Monday. And once he figure out that, hey, no matter how long we go, we're not gonna be able to agree, then he will release them. But right now, I don't think that option is on the table. But let me see if I can pull up exactly what they wanted to know. Let me see if I can add it. Share my screen. Share screen. Come on, screen. There we go. Share. Boom. So that's on the New York Times. Let's see what they got. Okay, how the jury deliberations work. So I can make it bigger. Okay. So here we go. I mean, this is pretty simple, straight, self-explanatory. The jurors' verdict on each count, guilty or not guilty, must be unanimous. The first juror in New York is the foreman, so they don't get any more voting power. They just the person that coordinates between the court and the jury. So if they have any questions for the judge or questions for the court, they are the person that like the go-between person. So here we go. The jury can send back notes signed by the foreman, as they did on Tuesday, to ask questions to the court or have a witness testimony read back to them. Jurors do not have a written copy of the judge's instructions, but they do have access to a laptop containing trial exhibits that they can refer to during their deliberations. And obviously, if one of them gets sick or one of them can't continue, then they'll get an alternate. If the jury finds him guilty, okay, this is the thing right here. Trump got to remain inside the courthouse while the jury is deliberating. And guess what? Trump said, it's boring in the courthouse. Trump said, bring me a TV. He told the court, I'm tired of sitting in this room. And guess what the court did? They sent him a TV. I never heard of that. Nathan, there's no fixed number. It's kind of like you play it by ear. You're trying to see, you're trying to check the temperature. If the jury, they may say, hey, we're trying, maybe a little bit more time. But if the jury just say, hey, no matter what you do or what you say, we're not going to change our minds, then the judge might go ahead and declare a mistrial. But I think right now it'll be too early to consider that. And before they do that, let me see if I can pull it up. The judge will read something called an Allen charge. And an Allen charge is basically a way to make the holdout juries change their minds. So let's say you have 10 for guilty and 2 for not guilty. The judge will read something called an Allen charge. It's basically an instruction telling the jury, the minority, like, hey, consider what the majority is saying. Go back and look at the evidence, and hopefully you can change your mind so y'all can all 12 agree. Let me see if I can pull up the actual Allen charge in New York. Because New York, if one thing we learned, they got their own system of government. Let me see. So they may not even, you can't put them past them over there in New York. Let me just pull up a standard Allen charge. But I believe they started at 9:30 Eastern time this morning. So right now, there was it 2:42 maybe in New York. So that's like 5 hours. Let me see. What does this one say? He said he would probably make them go to at least Monday. That sounds like a form of intimidation. You care to explain that? Like, what do you mean by like intimidation? Like, what does that mean to you? I'm just curious. Like, okay, I don't know what that means. Like he's trying to pressure the jury to come to a verdict, perhaps. Let me see. Strong arming one juror to side. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And more often than not, when that happens, a jury normally comes back with a guilty verdict if it ever gets to that point. If you have a judge reading that charge to them, it's almost like it's pushing them to go to the other side. Now, they could go vice versa. You can have 11 saying not guilty and only one saying guilty. Then that Allen charge is meant to push that one person that when they're saying guilty over to the not guilty side. So it can go both ways. So I won't say it's just one-sided, but normally when that happens, it's because most of the jury wants to convict and you have a few holdouts, maybe 2 or 3. Let me see if we can pull up the Allen charge. So what is an Allen, a dynamite charge? And that's when jurors cannot agree on a verdict and report this to a judge, the judge may issue further instructions to them to encourage those in the minority to reconsider their positions. These instructions are known as an Allen charge, or more casually as a dynamite charge. The Allen charge is named for the United States Supreme Court case Allen v. United States, all the way back in 1896, in which the court approved such instructions in federal cases. And then, you know, as with most things, the federal government goes first, and then the state constitutions copy the federal constitution. So now the states have their own Allen charge. Okay, look right here. We even got a paragraph that spoke to what Texas T just said. While they may sound quite forceful, intimidating, or even strongly implying that a jury must or should change their verdict, Allen charges do not require jurors to change their vote or to reach a verdict. So basically, you know, Texas T, they spoke directly to what you, you know, what you had just said. What this mean right here? What does this mean? What is that? Brett's Fay for? How is Texas T standing up for a criminal? I don't understand. Anybody know what that possibly could mean? I mean, obviously you don't want a juror to be felt like they're getting pressured no matter what. And the Allen charge is designed to encourage them to change their vote. And the way it's wrote, sometimes it can be so forceful that it can be so forceful that a juror might think that they have to listen to the Allen charge. So a defense attorney has to be real careful to make sure the judge is reading the Allen charge exactly right. Because if a juror member goes to the back and think that they have to change their vote because what the judge just read, then you have a problem. Oh, you're saying he's already found Trump guilty. That's what it sounds like. Because it sounds like, I mean, he's calling him a criminal. And that's really hard to say because that's what we have 12 people, voting on right now. And he has no criminal history. So, now maybe after the verdict, you can come back and say, hey, he's a criminal, because then he'll be convicted. He'll be a convicted criminal. But right now, I mean, unless you got some more evidence. If anything, I thought they'll say that I'm taking up on based on my analysis of the case. They'll say I'm taking up. But let me go back to see exactly what the jury, what they wanted to see. I don't know. Maybe they took off Brett's fade for. Maybe they left. Maybe they're not going to explain their position. I thought y'all had a good argument. But if you on your way out, just like the video on your way out. If you don't mind, just like the video. Give me some engagement. Let's see if we can go back to where I was before we talked about the Allen charge. Okay, so Trump got to stay inside the courtroom. They gave him a TV. That's wild. So if the jury finds him guilty, the judge is going to sentence him at a later date. I mean, there's no surprise. And obviously, if he's found not guilty, he get to go home. But some are speculating that the judge might hold Trump hold on. He responded, not trolling, just ridiculous. See, that's still not elaborating on which part is ridiculous. Unless it was something in the earlier comment that I missed out on. Maybe he's not talking about something recent, it's something older. Let me see. I was presently surprised to see so many New Yorkers standing. I was pleasantly surprised to see so many New Yorkers standing behind Trump and standing up to the narrative. That was funny. Maybe that's what he took it, or he or she took issue with. But yeah. But it's been said that if Trump is found guilty, the judge might try to sentence him to home confinement until sentencing date, which is a big deal because guess what? Trump won't be able to campaign. He won't be able to campaign, which would be like what? But I don't think home confinement would be appropriate. I mean, obviously Trump's not going anywhere. He's surrounded by, the professionals. He ain't hiding. I mean, he's running for president, so he's easy to find. So I don't think home confinement would be appropriate for this case. Now, if he had a few bail hopping charges, don't show up for court, you always got to find him. Okay, that's a good argument. But for him, no criminal history, I don't see an issue of why he can't continue on bail until sentencing date. Let's see. Let me go back to my screen share. And that's what we just talked about. If the jurors cannot reach a verdict, they're going to inform the judge. They're going to tell Judge Mashawn, and he's going to urge them to continue. He's probably going to read that Allen charge. He's going to read the Allen charge. And if they remain deadlocked, the judge would declare mistrial, and the prosecutors would then need to decide whether to bring the case again. So if a mistrial is declared, that's not the same thing as a not guilty. It's not the same as a not guilty. The prosecutors can recharge him. And let's say they get another hung jury on a second trial. Guess what? They can keep retrying him over and over and over again. We had a case in Houston, a capital murder case, and they retried it 3 times until they finally got a conviction. It was a young guy down here that was accused of murdering his parents. So let's see. He said 91 indictments, twice impeached, Russian spy dictator. Oh, and racist. He loves the poorly educated. Now, even if we say all these things are true, how would that go to his guilt or innocence in this trial? I mean, because none of the stuff that you listed will be able to go into the jury room, right? So you have to have an argument of why he's guilty based on the evidence. And I'm not sure what poorly educated means. What degrees he got? What degrees Trump got? Are you thinking this entire trial is ridiculous, or do you think Trump belongs in jail? That will help to understand which side is racist. Oh, we might have to drop the link, have a whole debate. Get him, Joe. He say Brett came in this ML and confused all of us. Right. We trying to see, based on his previous comments, it seems like he's definitely not Team Trump. I mean, it's clear to me that, I mean, if he's saying Trump 91 indicted, twice impeached, that don't sound like somebody that's watching Fox News. Right. He thinks Trump belongs in jail. The more comments, though, the better that. Come on here. Come on. That's what I'm saying. If he has a position that he wants to, articulate with the facts and the evidence, I understand this. I named a lot of reasons people might be mad at Trump. I did this yesterday. I went through the list of why people have reason to be mad at Trump. But is the evidence going to support a conviction? Let's see, what else? Here's why the jurors didn't receive a copy of the judge's instructions. Obviously, it's against the law. There has been some confusion. It's confusion in the chat in recent days about why the jurors in Donald J. Trump's criminal trial, which began Wednesday, weren't allowed to take a copy of the jury instructions to the jury room. The answer is simple. The law doesn't allow it. New York is what they call ass backwards. The lengthy instructions, which the judge read to the jurors right before they start deliberating, are meant to serve as a roadmap and to help them apply the relevant law to the facts as they have found them. And I'm just skip reading, just going through. The law is seldom simple, and because the legal theory underpinning the case is complex and at times confusing, the instructions are also a lot to take in. But while common sense suggests it would be helpful for jurors to have a copy of the instructions, the judge in this case was not allowed to give them one. And on Thursday, the jurors said, hey, we don't remember all of that. It was like 55 pages. Of course, we're not going to remember it. So I need you to read it back to me. We can't keep doing this all day. I don't think you. Okay, right. Damn, good thing Brett ain't the one of the jurors because he ain't sounded fair or impartial. Hey, if it was up to Brett, guilty on all counts. We ain't even got to go to the back in the jury room. We could just do it right here in front of everybody in the jury box. That's wild. Let's see. So let's see if we can figure out. Okay, here we go. What did they want to know? Pecker's and Cohen's testimony. This is what was read back in court. Okay, this is what we want to know. What they wanted to read again. The jurors in the case of Donald Trump heard testimony from two witnesses. David Pecker and Michael Cohen. That's Trump's lawyer, and David Pecker works for the media company. The jury asked for the readbacks and two notes to the judge after discussing the case amongst themselves for several hours on Wednesday. It is unclear what the requested material may reveal. Okay, it's hard to draw conclusions from it. The testimony the jurors requested to hear included questions by the defense and the prosecution to David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer, and Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, if you want to call him that, former attorney. Okay, so we understand prosecutors argue that the effort amounted to a conspiracy, so we understand that. So let's get to what they actually wanted. Okay, here was the note. We, the jury, request David Pecker's testimony regarding phone conversation with Donald Trump while Pecker was in the investor meeting. So Mr. Pecker, who took the stand first, provided testimony over several days that laid the foundation for the prosecution's narrative throughout the rest of the trial. He spoke about multiple private conversations he said he had with Trump and Cohen about helping the campaign. Okay, so Pecker discussed he was in a meeting in 2016 and it was interrupted by a phone call by Trump. Okay, so Trump personally called the media company, the company that's supposed to catch the story and kill the story. Mr. Pecker said that he stepped away during a presentation to talk to Trump, who suggested that he knew Karen McDougal, a Playboy model who claimed to have had sex with Trump over a 10-month period in 2006, or starting in 2006, and she was selling the rights to her story to David Pecker's company, AMI. And Trump said Karen is a nice girl. See, Karen, one thing about Karen and Trump, they on the same page. And I'm sure that's why they didn't call her as a witness against Trump, because they still cool. Or at least they never had any animosity towards one another. So Karen is a nice girl, Mr. Trump said, according to David Pecker. Trump said, "What do you think I should do?" Mr. Pecker said he answered that Trump should buy Miss McDougal's story. And the media company later paid Karen McDougal $150,000 So another issue for me is that can go both ways. When the jury want to know their conversation, are they trying to see that, hey, Trump had knowledge, Trump was trying to get this story concealed, he had a conversation about it, or are they trying to say, wait a minute, it was David Pecker's idea. Trump asked David Pecker, what should I do? David Pecker said, buy the story and we're going to kill the story. Who, Pecker? He said, we're going to buy the story and we're going to kill the story. And keep in mind, this is a lot of times before this happened, David Pecker was buying stories for Trump all the time. He would buy bad stories, negative stories, and he would suppress them. He would kill them. So it was nothing unusual about this arrangement to Trump. He thought it was legal. I mean, y'all did it with all the other stories, so why not do it now? So it is interesting that they want to have that specific part played back. Let's see. Let's see what else is interesting on here. All right, so we have the 4 portions of the testimony, okay. Okay, AMI later paid the $150. Oh, did I? Oh, let me see if I had that other part. Okay, so AMI paid the $150. Pecker, Joe, you happy? Testified to buying the life rights to a story or a tip, saying that it meant that the specific story could not be published anywhere else. And if her story did get out, Karen McDougal would have to pay back AMI $150,000, the money that she got. And I'm sure she didn't even get that whole $150 because I'm sure the lawyers took their cut off the top. But then David got cold feet. He decided not to get reimbursed by Trump for the deal he had with Mr. McDougal. So it looks like the media company paid Karen McDougal for the story, and then Trump was supposed to pay the media company David Pecker back. But David Pecker said, hey, I don't even want my money back. He got cold feet, so he must have knew something was wrong. Because why would you not want $150,000 back? I mean, you haven't made any money at that point. You gave money to a girl to buy her story, but what money did you make as a business, as a media company? And now you don't even want your money back from Trump? So I'm thinking David must have figured out that, hey, you know, something's not right, or I wasn't allowed to do this. Okay, they're talking about the deal, how they structured it. Okay, they also wanted to know about the cross-examination of David, in which he misremembered the exact date of the August 2015 meeting. So he told in the grand jury testimony that the meeting happened the first week of the month, but then he changed his testimony. And David said, yes, when I discovered that it was the middle of August. Nah, you switching it up. You're lying. You're lying. So it's pretty much let's get to okay, the jury instructions. So it was a 55-page jury instructions, and they were not allowed to take it back. But they wanted to know, they asked for a significant portion of it to be read back from pages 6 to 30. Pages 6 to 35, you might as well read the whole thing. Okay, so that phase or phrase refers to a reasonable inferences that can be drawn from the evidence. So I guess the judge gave them a story. Now that's weird. The judge gave them an analogy. Suppose you go to bed one night when it's not raining, and when you wake up in the morning, you look out your window, you do not see rain, but you see that the street and sidewalk are wet, and that people are wearing raincoats and carrying umbrellas. Under those circumstances, it may be reasonable to infer, that is, to conclude that it rained during the night. So I'm guessing they're trying to give, some of the jurors probably had questions of what does it mean to infer that, you know, he's guilty or not guilty. What did I miss? Right, a trial with a porn star and a witness named oh my God. What does Nathan say? If you buy a story and do not publish it, you committed a no. That's not illegal. It seems to me that the purpose in which they was doing it for was the illegal part. So David, like all his other times, he did it for Trump, buy a negative story, no harm, no foul. But since this evolved an election and money is moving around, you know, you got campaigns. It's not like a regular story now. He's running for president. So I'm thinking David found out, like, hey, I don't think I was supposed to do this. I actually think this is illegal. And what happened, I think David reached out to his own attorneys or his company's attorneys and said, hey, this is what I did. And they probably told him it's illegal because you giving money to Karen McDougal, and that money, and that is a favor for Trump. It's almost like you're loaning the money to Trump because Trump had to pay back the media company. So when you loaning a person money, it has to be reported per campaign finance law. Same way with Michael Cohen. Instead of Trump paying Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen used his own money to pay Stormy Daniels. So when he used his own money, he loaned Trump the money because he was paying the money on Trump's behalf. And when you loan somebody some money while they are running for office, you have to report it. Nathan said, did they have proof that campaign funds were used? Well, the issue is the prosecutors are arguing that the money was paid to Karen McDougal on behalf of his campaign because they didn't want it to look bad. So it was for campaign purposes, if that answers the question. So if it's for campaign purposes, and that's what the prosecutors are trying to prove, then they can say that the $150,000 was campaign funds because it was a loan on Trump's behalf. So I'm guessing that's what you're asking. Do they have proof? And I guess the proof will be the payment made to Karen McDougal. The only thing is what the jury is trying to figure out, was that payment made to Karen McDougal on behalf of Trump's campaign, or was that on behalf of him personally because he didn't want the story to get out and he didn't want to look bad in front of the world and his family? I mean, you got to remember he just had a baby, and his wife was at home. And you got these women coming out saying that they slept with him, even though he's denying it. He just want to pay them to make it go away. He said, no, I didn't do it, but I just want to pay it anyway, just to make it go away. Which is standard. Now, I'm sure that's what Diddy did. Diddy paid to make the Cassie story go away. But his issue was he paid too late. I'm sure Cassie and her lawyers reached out to him, and he played hardball. And he probably like, she's not going to file that lawsuit. And once she filed that lawsuit, it opened up the floodgates. I bet you he wish he paid her before she had to sue him. Because now that the floodgates are open, it's fair game. Anything can happen. And of course, he wasn't paying her to make it go away, because obviously he was paying her because he actually did it. Let me see if there's any updates. Y'all see anything? Where Brett go? Brett still in the chat? Somebody say, don't get him started. Where you at, Brett? I want to hear your take. Brett said he ain't studying me. Let me see if there's any updates, because I know they were having lunch. No, I don't see any why you scare them off? Brett, they made you leave. Let me see if I can find the jury instruction. Oh, that's gonna be too long though. Because they wanted to know too many pages, from pages 6 to page 35, which is crazy to me, because how they even know what the page numbers are. Oh, let me see if I can find the elements. I think there was a question yesterday. Let me see. Oh, this is another important part. So, since Michael Cohen and David Pecker are accomplices, what we call non-indicted co-conspirators, they word alone would not be enough to convict Trump. It has to be something that corroborates what they say. And that's in any trial across the U.S. If you have two people on trial and one's getting charged, or if you have two people that's accused of a crime and only one's charged and one's testifying against the other, you're going to need more than that person's word, because obviously that other person has an incentive to testify against their partner because they don't want to go to jail. So what the courts have said, you need something else, not only the testimony of that second person that wasn't charged or they got an immunity deal, you need some additional corroborating evidence to support that. And if you don't have that evidence to support what they're saying, then their whole testimony is struck from the record. Not only that, if the juries believe that Michael Cohen lied, let's say he told one lie, and the jury believed that he lied, then his entire testimony will be disregarded from the record. So it's the big deal. You know, if they say, hey, David Pecker lied or Michael lied, and maybe that's why they went back to that misremembering part. Maybe a jury is saying, hey, he lied. He said it was the first week of August and it really wasn't, so he lied. Now we can throw out his whole testimony of David Pecker. So maybe somebody in the jury is trying to find a reason to throw out the testimony of David Pecker and Michael Cohen. And obviously, if you throw out those two people's testimony because those are like the main people that set up the agreement, then the whole case falls apart. So let me see if the let me see if they have that in the instructions. And jury instructions, 55 pages. That's pretty standard. It's not like just a few pages. So let me see if I can find. And I can't believe they think that the jury can remember 55 pages. This is an interesting part. Let me see if I can share this part. This is interesting. Oh no, let me go to the other one. Let me go over to this one. Let me see if I can share this one. Share. So they got here the Federal Election Campaign Act, which is wild that they got it in the jury instructions because I don't remember anybody reporting that they brought it in as evidence. The first of the people's theories under the Federal Election Campaign Act, it is unlawful for an individual to willfully make a contribution to any candidate with respect to any election for federal office, including the office of President of the United States, which exceeds a certain limit. In 2015 and in 2016, that limit was $2,700. It is also unlawful under the Federal Election Campaign Act for any corporation to willfully make a contribution of any amount to a candidate or a candidate campaign in connection with any federal election, or for any person to cause such a corporate contribution. For purposes of these prohibitions, so yeah, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I believe Nathan was just asking about. Let me go so I can find back Nathan's question. Or maybe it was this one. If you buy a story, do not publish it, you committed a crime. So what they're saying is two things. When Michael Cohen gave Stormy Daniels that money, $130,000 to Stormy Daniels, it exceeded $2,700. And when David Pecker gave $150,000 to Karen McDougal, the other woman, that exceeded $2,700. And I'm thinking that's once David found out, like, oh man, I gave $150,000 to Karen on behalf of Trump, he probably realized that, hey, I just committed a criminal act. And that's why he even told Trump, don't even pay me back, just leave it alone. You know, I eat that $150,000. But see, what David did, he put the cart in front of the horse. He should have talked to his lawyers first. Why would you talk to him after? Talking to him after is like robbing a bank, leaving with the money and getting scared and coming back an hour later to bring the money back. It's too late. They still can charge you. And you still going to jail. Unless you get a good lawyer. Let me see. Anybody got anybody seen any different updates? Let me scroll through this to see what else is interesting out here. Okay, they saying that he falsified business records. Under New York law, a person is okay. Under New York law, a person is guilty of falsifying business records in the second degree when with intent to defraud, he or she makes or causes false entries in the business records of an enterprise. And I kind of touched on this, I believe, the day before. If you write in your own notebook that you made a payment to somebody for one thing when you really made it for another thing, it's illegal. So the question is, what if you don't keep books at all? Okay, I'm not gonna make any notes. I'm not gonna keep bookkeeping records for my company. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anything extra in the jury instructions. See, now they're saying tax law. Under New York State and New York City law, it is unlawful to knowingly supply or submit materially false or fraudulent information in connection with any tax return. Whose tax returns was presented in evidence? So they basically, the judge said, hey, whatever law you think it is, they didn't have to prove this part, just pick which one. In order for Trump to be found guilty, it would have to be proved two elements. On February 14th, 2017, Trump personally or by acting in concert with another person, I guess his former attorney, Michael Cohen, made or caused false entry in the business records. Specifically, an invoice from Michael Cohen. You can't trust no invoice from Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen was goddamn stealing and writing his own invoices. He was writing his own damn invoices. And that the defendant did so with the intent to defraud. That included an intent to commit another crime. Look at number 2, that the defendant did so with the intent to defraud. And then another part that included another intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission thereof. That's wild. This is what we call nasty work. Nasty work. A known and admitted thief. And I wonder why Trump hired him or trusted him. I mean, if you know, you kind of have an idea somebody ain't no damn good. And I wouldn't have trusted him as far as I can throw him. Michael Cohen, he looks like he's sneaky. He looked like he's sneaky. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. You can't make this up. So I guess with if Michael Cohen's, if his testimony is disregarded, then you know the case is dead on arrival. But right now, what is it? 3:30 in New York. They started at 9:30. So they've been going another 6 hours just today alone. And what was it yesterday? Maybe over 4? Maybe 4 or 5? So that's why, and they say Trump, he was a little slick. You know, they say he was always getting over on folks in New York. That's why they don't like him. So knowing that, he should have definitely not hired Michael. Y'all know about that story in Dalton, that mayor, the mayor in Dalton. They saying that she corrupt and she been stealing all. She a super mayor. She's been stealing all the money and stuff. Y'all heard about that story? And I remember when they said they was investigating her, the city said they gonna get to the bottom of it. So they gonna hire their own person to come in and clean house. And when they told me that they hired Lori Lightfoot, I almost fell off this chair. Oh, hey, good afternoon. I almost fell off this chair. Hold on. How y'all gonna have Lori Lightfoot investigating? And if y'all don't know who Lori Lightfoot is, she was Chicago's former mayor. And they, I don't know how true it is. They say she was as crooked as they come in Chicago. So they brought her to investigate another crooked mayor. Let me see. Somebody else. Actual Justice Word has a lot of good videos on the I'm gonna have to go check it out. I said, how y'all get Lori Lightfoot? Man. All Tiffany got to do, all she got to do is brush up on Lori a little bit. Oh, come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All she got to do is give Lori a good 5 minutes. And Lori going to say, I found no wrongdoing. Not guilty. Not guilty. She give Lori a little bit, and the case is over. Lori, they said, and then they paid Lori, I think, $30,000. She was a horrible mayor, but a spectacular federal prosecutor with a great record. They said they ran out of there one term. And this new guy they got, he barely hanging on. They sick of him. They ready for him to go. I was like, dang, hold on. You missed quite a lot. I will say that. You missed some good stuff going on. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know what. We had somebody jump in the chat. You just gonna have to, if you have time to, just kind of go back up on the comments. I don't know what his deal was. No. I thought Lori was a no. She do. I thought she had a wife, or was she, don't give me the line. Don't give me the line. So you saying Lori got a husband? Hold on, let me go look this up. I mean, we got a little break. We waiting on the jury. They ain't going nowhere. Let's see. Lori, who your spouse is? Lori, like, how I get hit with a stray? I ain't got nothing to do with this. Oh, she got her a white woman. Yeah, I thought so. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. She might want some chocolate next so she can get that case dropped. Woo! Tiffany. Tiffany Hinier. What see, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. What Jasmine Crockett called Marjorie Taylor Greene? She said something out of bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Golly. And I'm quoting. That's a quote. That's a quote from a fellow Texas lawyer. Let me quit. They gonna be outside my damn office marching, holding signs. They gonna be out there, hey ho, talk that law has got to go, hey. And I'll be dancing, looking out the blinds. Hopefully they bring some good drums with them. That's what she said. I'm just quoting. Yeah, Lori finna go down there and she finna go investigate the super mayor and run off with that 30,000. Let me see if I can find Lori. Let me see if I can find her info. Let me see. Yeah, she definitely in shape. I will say that she in shape. She I mean, to be fair, she started it. She did start it, and that's why you don't. They said don't start on beating her. She talked about Jasmine appearance first, so Jasmine just clapped back. And I believe when Marjorie Taylor Greene, she wasn't going down without a fight. She did a video showing her like lifting weights. She was throwing them weights back. uh Wait, how Jasmine started? Wait a minute, how Jasmine started? And when Marjorie was throwing them weights back, I was like, okay, well, you're kind of proving wait a minute. So you're saying Jasmine started it on the physical appearance? Because I thought Marjorie started it first on the physical appearance. I know they always have disagreements about the rules and the quorum. I understand that part, but I believe the physical appearance came from Marjorie Taylor Greene first. Right. Yeah, I agree with that. So they were there for Merrick Garland. They were trying to get him impeached. And she started talking about the Trump trial. It's 11 o'clock at night. You talking about the Trump trial, and we're here for Merrick Garland. So you're off topic. So Jasmine asked her, why we're here, which is, a fair question. And I'm sure they probably do that all the time with each other. But do you think Marjorie crossed the line when she started commenting on her colleague's physical appearance? Yeah, she was asking, is anybody here the judge? She was asking, is the judge's daughter in the Trump trial, does she work for anybody here or work for the Democrats? And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just wondering. Let me see if I can find the. Oh, and y'all, if y'all hear of any let me check and see if there's any updates. I doubt the jury is. I want somebody to come running out the door saying, "Hey, we have a verdict. We have a verdict." Let me see. Entry broke the rules with the personal strike as a reason for misunderstanding. In Texas, the old folks used to call that being nice nasty. I don't know if y'all use that term, but heard that term before. Nice nasty. Oh yeah, clearly she wasn't asking no question. I mean, she wasn't asking no question. I mean, what happened was they took a vote, and obviously it's Republican controlled, they have the majority. So Marjorie wasn't punished for what she said to Jasmine. So Jasmine was like, okay, so is it okay if I call her this? Since she wasn't punished, it's okay if I do it. And then of course his hearing aids went out, so he couldn't understand or hear what she was saying. In my opinion, Jasmine was both cute and nasty. She was matching the energy. NTG. Now this is interesting. Eyelashes is not a personal tag. All women wear them, but Jasmine made it personal. So you think Marjorie wear fake eyelashes? I don't think she do, because I think I seen an interview with Jasmine, and Jasmine said Marjorie needs to get her a pair of fake eyelashes, and maybe if she had her pair on, she could have kept her husband. That's what Jasmine said. So I don't think Marjorie wear them. Let me Google it though. I'm gonna Google that. Do Marjorie wear? I just think it went too far. When see, that's the danger of commenting on physical appearance, and in any sense, because if you start commenting on physical appearance, or she said, I need to call in. If you start commenting on physical appearance, you kind of like you open the door. That's interesting, So let's say she would have commented on Jasmine's hair. Would that have been a race thing, or can the argument be made that all women wear some form of I don't even know what they call them, extensions? She said, call in. What does that mean? I need to call in. And just how do we know that? What did Jasmine say that made it race? That made it about race. I'm not sure. I know she said bleach blonde. So I'm basically talking about her hair. And then obviously her body, bad build, and then the butt. I guess she's talking about her sexual orientation. The lashes are not the point. Rather, all women wear them. It is a fact against the rules of it's against the rules to comment on personal appearance. No, because I'm Hispanic and have wore extensions and wigs, and no white women that wear them too. Oh, you missed a lot, Miss Carol. You missed a lot. We just started having our own opinions on different topics over here. Where I got caught away from my idea. I mean, it just depends on. Okay, so she's saying Michelle. Okay, it was never about race. So maybe it wasn't about race. And we're just killing time. You know, we still waiting on the jury. Trump, no man, ain't going nowhere. But it's good to get different perspectives on topics like these. And even AOC found it offensive because AOC jumped in, and I'm not sure what race is AOC. Okay, she's of Puerto Rican descent, and AOC start arguing with Margie, and I don't even know if it's what she said, but it's kind of like how she said it in her body language, or you're you can't see with your fake eyelashes. And obviously, seeing, I mean, it was even, the issue was, it was even nothing, when Margie made that comment, there was nothing for her to see. Now, she could have said, maybe you can't hear, but it was nothing for her to see, right? What did she need to see with her eyes? It seemed like Margie wanted to make that comment. And then that's me personally. Like, she was waiting so she had a reason to make that comment. I get it. Most women don't want to be called out about wearing wigs or extensions, but come on, some of these lashes can't help but know they're fake. The issue is, for me, and this is healthy conversation, there's no right or wrong answer. The issue for me is not about it being fake, but it was about her starting it. I mean, she started it first, in my opinion. She started the physical appearance portion, which was against the rules. Now, I don't know if it's against the rules to correct someone to stay on topic, about why we're here in the meeting. That may be there might be a point of order. You're off topic. You got to stay on topic. That reminds me of the Wanda Smith Cat Williams thing. If you're going to start in on someone, you better be better at trolling. And that's the thing. When you attack someone, you can't tell the person how to respond. And that's why it's best not to even attack someone. Let's say you're going to go to someone on the street and you punch them or you slap them, and then next thing you know, they beat you down for 5 minutes straight. And you be like, oh, I only hit you one time. Like, okay, but can you really tell that person how to respond when they were attacked first? So when the words were not struck, Jasmine asked, and I quote, if I address someone as BBB, would that be acceptable? Is the fight. Did you even see it at Texas T? Sound like yeah. NCG was out of line for asking all type of questions. She didn't have the floor. Correct. We can agree on that if you watched it. And she said, yes, now like, yeah, I watched the whole stream. Hey, the thing is, nobody ever watches those things unless some action happens. So is this how far we come as a country in order for us to keep up with our local Congress people? It got to be some mess going on. Right. Jasmine, do you even know why we're here? Right. I mean, if you're here for Merrick Garland and you're talking about, Trump's trial judge, the Trump's trial judge daughter working for the Democrats, and it's 11 o'clock at night. And not only that, not only it's late at night. It's late at night because most of the Republicans went to the Trump trial in the daytime. So Congress business got pushed back into the nighttime. So people like Marjorie Taylor Greene can go to the trial. So we let you go to the trial, we're staying up late at night. And then when you get here, instead of getting to the business, you're talking about something totally irrelevant. I don't know if she was recognized at the time, though. Okay, so how was it relevant for the hearing of Merrick Garland? Because they're trying to impeach or hold Merrick Garland in contempt. Right, we all got different opinions. And just blame me. Blame me. Blame me. I'm the one that opened up this can of worms. And when I'm on YouTube, I just relax and I take things lightly. When you're in court all day and you see a lot of serious stuff going on and craziness happen, I can be more relaxed on here. So that was just my take on it. We can all agree to disagree. And if they, something else happens about them too, I guess we'll be back. It seems like this is a topic that's more entertaining than waiting on the jury to come out. Okay, I'll give you that, but at the same time, how was Trump relevant when it was about Garland? Okay, how was Trump relevant when it was about Garland? Which part was um so I'm assuming Jasmine said something about Trump. And I believe Jasmine's argument was, we're here in the midnight hour because y'all went to the Trump trial. When our normal business hours are, our normal business hours is the daytime. So we pushed it back. If the Democrats, if they didn't want to be there late at night, they didn't have to go. I mean, y'all already outvoted. They would have just been there talking to themselves. They having hearings. We know Merrick Garland ain't going to jail. He the attorney general. What he gonna do? Put his own stuff in jail? I mean, it's really just a waste of time just to tell the truth. But yeah, one thing about it got us all watching. At least we know. If we don't know nothing else that happened in Congress, we know that that happened. We know that happened. Let me see if there's any updates. Yeah, all this been and went on, and we've been had a verdict and don't even know it. Let's see. Let's see. I am curious. I think everybody else gave their answers. Texas T, did you I don't remember which way did you think the verdict was going to go. Do you think it was guilty or not guilty or hung jury? I think everybody else has said there's. I know Miss Kira has said guilty. But it's been going on a long time. So right now we know that there has to be disagreement. I mean, you don't sit in a room all day long and half a day yesterday and everybody agree. Everybody agree, you come out with a verdict. So it's now been 11 hours and 5 minutes. Oh, she didn't say whether it was good. Okay. I want to see if I can find a part about Michael Cohen's testimony about him being an accomplice. We know about the New York is so wild. They rules are some. Let's see if I can find the accomplice testimony. Okay. So he has some rules. They have some rules they have to go by. The judge gave them some rules. Let's take a look at the rules. I forgot who they talking about, but it seemed like it was one of the DAs or other judges. So maybe they thought Garland had something to do with it, which I wouldn't doubt. But don't get don't get me to lie. Please don't. She said, "Don't get me to lie." I heard that. Come on. All right, let's see. Oh no, this ain't even the right one. Let me go back. Let me share this other screen. Oh man, I'm gonna be cracking up all day. Okay, they rules. I think it's part of the question you had just asked. I think it's in here. I had seen it. Number one, while you are here in the courthouse deliberating on the case, you will be kept together. You may not leave the jury room. Lunch will, of course, be provided. If you have a cell phone, please give it to the court officer to hold for you while you are engaged in deliberation. Number two, you must deliberate about the case only when you are gathered together. You must not discuss it as you go to and from the courtroom. So yeah, that's basic. If one of the jury members go to the restroom, then obviously all talking need to stop. Two people going to and from their car. You know, it's almost like the Open Meetings Act. You need everybody there before you start talking about the case. Number three, during the deliberations, you must discuss the case only amongst yourselves, not anyone else, not the including the court officers, or permit anyone other than a fellow juror to discuss the case in your presence. Now, we all know we're human, So when they go home, they talking to their husbands, they talking to their wives, they talking to their kids. Now, obviously, it was somebody that I don't know, remember what trial it was, but somebody talked to a family member, and the family member came back and told. What kind of mess is that? Who would your spouse come home and tell you about the case, and you go to the court and tell on them? Can you say divorce? Let's go back. Number 4, if you have a question or request, you must communicate with me by writing a note, which you will give to the court officer to give to me. The law requires that you communicate with me in writing, in part, to make sure there are no misunderstandings. Yes, so number 4, you have to, it has to be written down and it's part of the record. So the judge has to read the note in open court to the court reporter. So you can't write a note down and think that it's going to be private. No, it's going to be read out, and everybody in the courtroom, including the reporters, are going to know what the note said. I remember in one of my trials, they were going pretty late. It was getting nighttime, and they sent a note, and I was like, okay, I'm like, what the note is. They asked for pizza. I'm like, what? They said they wanted pizza. And before the pizza can even get there, before it can even get ordered, they said, oh, never mind, we got a verdict. Wild stuff, wild stuff. Number 5, we will work every day until 4:30. So what is it, 4:04 right now? So they got about 26 minutes in New York time left. However, we can work later if the jury wishes to do so, and all jurors are in agreement. Simply send me a note as early in the day as possible and let me know that you wish to stay beyond 4:30. And if so, what time you would like to work until. Depending on what time you select, we may order dinner for you. Oh, that's nice. He said we may order it. I should explain that under our law, I am not permitted to have a conversation about the facts of the case or a possible verdict or the vote of the jury on any count with any one juror or group of jurors or even all the jurors. Thus, in any note that you send me, do not tell me what the vote of the jury is on any count. Right. So that's pretty much standard as well. It'd be improper for the judge to comment on which way the jury should vote or what the count is, or talking to him, having questions for him. It's just inappropriate. Everything has to be done in writing, and both lawyers and the client has to be present when the note is being read. And then everybody will agree what note you send back to them. But it'd be highly improper for a judge or an attorney to talk to a member of the jury while they are deliberating. I remember one time I had to go to the restroom and my client had to go as well, so we were just going to go at the same time. And the way we had to go with the bailiff, we told the bailiff, hey, we got to go. Can you make sure the restrooms are clear? And the bailiff went in there and he checked. He said, oh, yeah, it's clear. And we go in there. I hear a toilet flush. And I said, who the hell is in here? The bailiff just said it's clear. A member of the goddamn jury. he was still inside the stall. Restroom so fast. We got over there. And it's not that we would talk to him, because we know we can't talk to him and he know he can't talk to us. But just to avoid the appearance of any type of wrongdoing or impropriety, you don't even want to be around it. No, 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 no. And the bailiff eyes, uh, the bailiff eye was all big. Oh, I thought I checked. Dude, you didn't go in the room and count the 12, or you didn't even ask them. Okay, I think so, but hopefully they want to be. They want. I don't think so. Could be. Now, if they pass, like the note just said, let's go back to it. If they tell the judge that, hey, judge, we want to work past 4:30, he say, send me a note. But all 12 have to agree. And, you know, some of these people have lives, they have kids. Uh, you know, they have stuff they got to get done. And they probably didn't make arrangements to stay late, which they should do. I mean, until this trial is over with, especially while you're deliberating these last few days, you know, have somebody on standby. Because if you can stay, you know, an extra hour or two late today, and you don't have to come back Friday, and you don't have to come back on Monday, and you can get it done, then it'll make sense to me to get it done while you can. Let's see anything after that. Okay, this is a big no. I don't know what this is saying. If a juror wants to speak to me during deliberations, a meeting here in the courtroom with the parties will be arranged. No juror, however, can tell me what is being said about the facts of the case or a possible verdict, or what the vote of any juror or the jury is on any count. And while I will, of course, listen to whatever a juror has to say that does not involve those subjects, I may not be able to respond to that juror if the response involves instructions on the law. He goes on to say, I may be required to call into court the entire jury and respond by speaking to the entire jury. The reason for that is that all law wants to make sure that each and every juror hears at exactly the same time whatever I have to say about the law, and all law wants to make sure that the jury hears those instructions from me and not from any other juror. This concludes my instructions on the law. I mean, so that's pretty much straightforward. That's pretty much straightforward. But now, if a juror comes and say, "Hey, I was in a parking lot and somebody's trying to influence my vote," okay, that's something that they need to come out and talk to the judge in front of the lawyers on the record. If somebody's been calling me, they're trying to pressure me. If somebody showed up at my house, that's something that the juror can come out and say. I mean, because it doesn't involve anything that's going on in that back room. Now, if they have some information, like, hey, somebody bringing in outside information that we didn't learn about on this trial, we didn't learn about it during this trial. They went and Googled something. They bringing in outside stuff that they heard on TV. Now you have a problem. And now the judge is going to have to figure out, you know, how to address it. And he's going to have to call the whole jury out. And yeah, they're going to know you a snitch, but, you know, bringing in outside stuff could compromise the case, because if you listen to some of these news stations, they have their own opinions that can swing the case either way. So it looks like we might be done for today. I'm gonna refresh my browser to see if there's any. So I will say, knowing what we know now, it's some disagreements. Let me see if I stop sharing. They've been going 11 hours. 11. So they're not agreeing on something. Oh, here we go, right here. Yeah. 11 hours and 20 minutes. And I remember everyone saying that they had a slam dunk case. The state, Trump's going to be found guilty. He's in New York. It's not going to take him this long. And now we're at half a day, half of 24 hours. Now I wonder, we haven't had any word that they sent another note out, which is, obviously an issue, because if they don't send a note out, then it's presumed that the stopping time is going to be at 4:30, like the judge said. But if they send a note out, I think it's too late to send a note out, because he said he wanted that note early as possible. Oh man. Well, this was an interesting chat. I definitely have to, because I wasn't. I didn't get a chance to read it all when I first started. Let me see. Just to go through me too. Everything I heard is so shady on how the judge handled the instructions. I hope just one jury goes against the rest, that they didn't get enough of clear information to go off of. Okay. So I guess this answered my question when I had asked earlier which way you were kind of leaning. Somebody said you didn't know. And I tried to do my best to covering, politics in it if I could help it, just based on the facts and the law. Oh yeah, I saw where the judge's daughter had access to everything. Now that's wild. I'm hoping at least one of them is strong enough, but there can be a lot of pressure, especially with two attorneys. It could be. It could be, depending on which way those two attorneys are leaning. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull up a chart. I want to see what these, and I think we kind of went over it, of what they do for a living. So I can make this one bigger. Oh, come on, come on. I'm just blow it up, man. I guess I can copy and paste it. Excuse me. Let's see. Let me see if I can find. Well, I do it like this. I'm just gonna drag it. Oh yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you for popping in and always supporting. Uh, I'm gonna jump back on tomorrow, uh, and hopefully we get a verdict. Let's see. And this is so hard to read, and I can't make it any bigger. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. Trying to make it to where I could wear it fit. This is Google, so it won't let me copy the image. And okay, so at least we kind of see who we got. Okay, see y'all tomorrow. What site did you have that countdown on? It has 3 updates. Okay, let me go. Let me see real quick. I'll come back to this chart so we can see. Let me see. Let me see. She said which one? Oh, 3 updates. Let's see. Let's go to the top. Yeah, is it on there? Okay. All right, I think we already saw that. Okay, 5 minutes ago, as he walked to the courtroom, Trump was asked if he was nervous about a verdict. He stopped, turned to the cameras, and said, according to a pool report, I want to campaign. Trump's lawyer always, it seemed to me, he always looked mad. I don't think that? He always looked kind of upset. The judge is on the bench. He plans on, okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Y'all called it. Y'all called it. So I guess we'll be back tomorrow. But thank y'all for stopping in. I guess I'll get to this airport. We have bad Texas weather, so it's been delaying all the flights. But he should be coming in another hour and a half. But thank y'all for stopping in, and I'll jump back on tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, and if y'all can like the video, that'd be great. So I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm just here to talk that law. All right, I'll see y'all on tomorrow. Thank y'all.